is Sarah. Today I would like to bring you along to make the world's easiest recipe. And I know I say that in all of my recipe videos. I'm always saying this is the easiest recipe. But if you've seen my channel for even a few videos, you know that easy is basically all that I do. So I just got back. I took the dogs on a walk. It is raining and I got soaked, so I had to put on my little headband. My hair is looking. One thing, if you live in the Pacific Northwest, it rains so much, and if you have hair like me, you know, like the 80s hair, it goes out to here. Anyways, fun fact. So today we're gonna make a casserole. I call it my Thanksgiving casserole, but really it's just because it has Italian seasoning and green beans and chicken. And it's basically, it reminds me of Thanksgiving, except there's no turkey. Instead, there's chicken. So for this, it's a dump and go recipe. As you know, dump and go is basically what I make. I have a bag of green beans. These are fresh green beans. I think I got these from Costco. I normally use the canned green beans, but I was out of the canned and I have these anyways. So I'm just gonna chop them up and use that in the recipe. A box of stuffing. This is the chicken stuffing. I think I got it from Safeway. Yeah, Signature Select. And a can of cream of chicken soup. And then I have leftover rotisserie chicken. If you have chicken breasts, chicken thighs, the chicken doesn't have to be cooked. You could cut it up. It's so easy, dump and go. But I got rotisserie chicken when I was at Costco on Sunday, and this is just a good way to use it. So, all those things, and then I have Italian seasoning, black pepper, and if you know my channel, you know I'm gonna put in a bunch of garlic. So let's go ahead and get started. This is really simple. Throw it all together, mix it, stick it in the oven, and it's actually one of my husband's favorite things to eat ever. So let's go ahead and get started. So we are gonna get started by greasing our pan. As you know, that's the number one thing, otherwise it will stick. So go ahead and get our chicken out. Luckily, there's the amount of chicken, it's not a lot, so it's not gonna be like a protein heavy casserole, but it will still be filling enough for at least one meal. Normally, I will have a lot more chicken, a lot more leftover chicken, but, you know, we just got to work with what we have. I want to say I probably only have about 2 cups, which is actually pretty light for me, but I am all about using up what I have to make meals for my family. And I don't ever, well, I don't want to say ever. I very rarely waste food. If I buy something, even if I don't like it, either myself or my husband will use it up. Very rarely there's something that is, you know, not good, or like if it's lentils, I don't like lentils, and I'll try it and I can't do it. I will just message my neighbors, and we actually have a pretty good neighborhood waste not, want not theory. So if I don't like something and I can't finish something, chances are one of my neighbors will, and therefore like nothing ever goes bad. Okay, so I went ahead and pieced apart all the chicken. Now I'm gonna wash my hands. I wanna say there's about a pound left. This bag of green beans was a 2-pound bag. We probably used half of it, so I'm gonna say there's about a pound left in here. So for this recipe, in the past, I've used the French cut green beans. So what I'm doing is, these green beans are pretty long. I'm just gonna cut each green bean into thirds. That way it kind of gets to like the French green bean size. Also, if you don't have green beans, if you have a can of corn, you can use it. If you have canned carrots, you could also use, if you want to do a little bit of a different flair, you can do some onion and, you know, like a red pepper. You really could take this casserole in many different directions. All right, so green beans are all cut up. We have our green beans, we have our chicken. Time to get our cream of mushroom soup in. Now, if you don't have cream of chicken, you can use cream of mushroom. You can also use sour cream, whole milk, 2% milk, or Greek yogurt. So really any kind of milkish or liquid mixture just to add a little moisture, you can use it. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and add about a teaspoon of black pepper. And then the Italian seasoning, I'm gonna do probably about a teaspoon and a half. And then the garlic, I'm gonna go with my heart. Okay, my heart went a little far with the garlic, but luckily we like garlic. Hopefully it will cook so it cook away if it's too much. Let me grab a spoon. All right, this is perfect. Now, because I am using regular fresh green beans, I do feel like it needs a little more liquid than the canned green beans normally call for. So I am gonna put in a splash of milk. And this is just regular 2% milk. So I normally do a 13x9, but today we're just gonna do it 8x8 because I don't have a lot of green beans or chicken. This is probably gonna make one meal. There are 3 of us here. It might make, one meal and a little bit of leftovers, but my husband does intermittent fast, and so chances are he's probably gonna be hungry around dinner. All right, one thing I did forget to mention, I do normally put some cheddar cheese on top of this. I don't have the kind of cheddar cheese that I like, so I'm actually just gonna go ahead and use this light, low moisture part skim mozzarella, and I'm gonna put it on top of the meat, the chicken and green bean. And it's not even gonna be a lot, just a few handfuls. I'm guessing if I was to measure this, I'm gonna say maybe half a cup total. I wouldn't even say half a cup. I would say it's probably a third of a cup. Okay, so here it is with the cheese on top. So we have the chicken, we have the green beans, we have the cream of chicken soup, all the seasonings, and the cheese. Next thing we're gonna do is add the stuffing. The stuffing is gonna be super simple. I'm gonna use the same exact bowl that we use to mix up everything else. There's no raw chicken. I use rotisserie chicken, super easy, super simple. I mean, even if you did use raw chicken, this is all going into the oven and it's gonna cook for, I would say, especially with these green beans, because they're not the canned green beans, it's gonna be in the oven for at least 35 minutes on 350. So you don't have to worry about things not getting cooked all the way through. All right, so I have the stuffing mix added to the bowl. I have about a half cup of water that I went ahead and put into this cream of chicken condensed soup thing, because this way you can always get, when you add water to these little cans, you can always get like a little more flavoring out of it. So I'm just gonna use that to moisten up the stuffing. And if you're someone who's never used box stuffing before, it's magical. It has a lot of seasonings in it. I mean, yeah, is it the best for you? Maybe not. But in a pinch, if it's just something you're adding to the top of a, protein casserole, sometimes it's okay to go easy. All right, so I have the stuffing all put together. I'm just gonna add it on top of the cheese. All right, and there we go. That's it. Thanksgiving casserole. You've got chicken, you've got green beans, you've got stuffing, and you got a little bit of cheese. Super simple, super easy. I'm gonna put foil on it, put it in the oven for 30 to 35 minutes. It's gonna be a nice meal for my family. I'm gonna add a salad to the side, you know, surprise, surprise. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day. I hope you're making some amazing recipes for your family, and I'll see you next week. Bye, guys.